Brian with Blueprint Vans. Today we're going to start working on trying to get the cabinet set up for the wall with all the electronics on it. I had a little excursion where I tested the van out, and I just thought it'd be really nice to actually have all my electronics in place to get my solar running, have that up and going, and then I can work off of that parameter to try to get the bed going on this side. So we have to figure out what we're going to do here, and just going over some preliminary plans. I think I'm going to start with the sides being this 3/4 inch ply. I'm going to cut that down into pieces to get kind of a rough layout for the outside pieces, so the pieces that will fall here and then at the edge over there, and then I can build a frame off of that. So here's kind of the plan right now. I want to try to make it as light as I can, so we're gonna start with those two end pieces. We'll tie it together with 3/4 inch plywood, and on the back we'll try to use as much of that as possible since that'll all be hidden. On the front we'll do our face with whiteboard, probably, maybe poplar. I'll have to see. I think I have enough of this whiteboard hanging around where I can do the face with that, and I'll try to tie in as much as I can with the plywood pieces that I have around, but I might need to dive into some of this stuff here to try to make that happen with what I have just on hand. So this is kind of the plan. I'm going to box out the wheel well. I'm going to put a couple drawers in. I might have 2 drawers here. I will have this being the cabinet, so this will open both ways, and that will allow me to access all the electronics, everything like that. And it should be a fairly easy layout, but I haven't made anything real complex as far as cabinetry goes, so I'm going to try my best to create something that looks good, is functional, and also as lightweight as I can. Would have liked to have gone with 1/2 inch stuff, but just using pocket holes and stuff like that, 3/4 inch is going to bite a lot better. I can probably use 1/2 inch on the front face boards, and that should do just fine. So we'll get this started. I got to rip that big piece of ply down to size, and then I need to cut that into the pieces and kind of lay that out in here just to see where I'm going to be at, because this side does pitch up and in, so it's going to fall a little bit awkward on there, but I'll get it as tight as I can go against the wall, and it should be able to all tie into the wall and the floor to make it super secure and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Next, I'm going to rip this down to 30 inches. That will give me the height that I need to get up to this brace back here. That way I can tie the back braces into that, securing that up high there. Alright, I've got my fence all set up here to rip this down. I'm going to do 18 inches from there to there. This way, once I get all the supports in and the face on, it will fall at about 16.5 inches, which fits the drawer sides that I'm looking at right now, which is a 15 7/8 to 17 3/4 inch drawer depth, or cabinet depth rather. So that's what I'm going to go with. It should fall pretty nice in here. I still should have plenty of space for the bed. It'll allow me enough space in here for the batteries, the inverters, everything like that. So I just wanted to make sure I have enough space in here so everything can kind of breathe, and that I'll have enough depth in the cabinets to actually be functional. So I'll get that ripped down, and then I'll be able to cut that into the pieces that I need it to be for the 2 sides. Just to make it seem so I slightly know what I'm doing, I don't. I squared up both sides here. I'm going to measure from the inside to the inside. I'm going to get those pieces cut to join these together in the different areas that I need support in. So down below here in the middle, right at that ridge line there, up top, and then I'll need an additional one up top to go widthwise, so that I can have it attach into the back wall there, both there and down there. It's probably not necessary to do it lower, but I do just want it a little more stable, so that will kind of give me that stability point. It'll also give me a run to come over the wheel well and make a box out of that. Alright, so here we are in the shipping container, because it's the only flat surface I have really to work with on the whole property. The garage obviously is wavy for drainage issues and things like that, so shipping containers have a pretty flat surface, so I'll be working in here to get the cabinetry done. Since I do have some different size pieces, I started off just by labeling where these would go. Also going to have to make sure I orientate these correctly, because it did get a little discolored. I could probably sand that out, but I'll just put that on the inside, no one will see it. So we'll get this set up, laid out. I've got the pocket jig here by Craig. It's about 160 bucks, but super nice. It's the pro version, 720. So you just lock it down in, it automatically adjusts to the size of the board, and that will be the bones of what will hold everything together with this cabinet. It'll be pocket holes, pocket screws, and wood glue. Okay, first things first, just set the bit to the 3/4 setting. It's got the quick setting on this version, which is really nice. You just line it up with a circle in this with this bracket with the Allen wrench, and that's going to be your depth. I'm going 3/4 inch into 3/4 inch, so it does list for a 3/4 inch depth on your bit, and then I'll use a 1 1/4 inch pocket hole screw. So now we're just going to drill the pocket holes in both sides. Start out with the top back piece, and I'm going to be using the 1 1/4 inch screws. Okay, what I did is I clamped down this piece here just so I can give myself a guide, make sure I get this lined up. The first try didn't go so well, so I'm going to do it again. So let's get some glue on here. Lined up on here. Okay, it's nice and lined up on the top. So now I kind of got the running board that's going to attach to the studs behind the wall, or in the wall, keep it actually taut up against the wall and tied into the structure. So to make sure that this lined up, I'm just going to get some glue on it, I'll clamp it in, and then I'll be able to drive those screws in and make sure it stays straight when I'm doing that. Do yourself a favor and get yourself some clamps that work for this. Alright, I got the top piece glued and screwed in. This is the running board to attach. Alright, so I got this clamp now just a scrap piece with a square edge to make sure I can push up against that and get that as tight up against there as I can so it doesn't move around. This is the front top piece, so I do have to keep this edge really flush for the face to go on there. Now I'm actually going to tie in this top board to the running board on the back. Keep that true. That way it just provides more support along this line and allows this to kind of grip into the back more, have more structural support. So I'm going to pre-drill that, countersink it, and then I'll drive in these 1 1/4 inch, basically deck screws, but it'll work for the purpose. Now what I have to do is place a runner that goes all the way across, and there's the stud right back there that will attach to as well. That will also create, I'll be able to create a box over the wheel well, and it just gives me some more structural support in the back. So that has to go, I'm going to have the bottom come up about 1 inch above the wheel well, and then it's about a 3-inch piece, so it'll come up to about the top of that stud. And then I can tie in the side pieces here and there, and we'll be able to make a flat surface across the top that I can lay a cap piece on, and then we'll put the front face on that. So we'll get that attached next onto the back of the cabinet. Okay, so I measured the 9 inches on both sides here. And then I'm going to clamp my scrap in place. And I can just take my piece, drop it right on there. It should provide us a little bit of stability. So once again, a little glue. Okay, now I gotta rip a couple 9x12 pieces. These will be the pieces that go on this side of the wheel well and come out. So it'll be one big broad piece. I'll connect that all together with 1/2 inch on the top and then a fold down door in the front. So I just gotta do that. There'll be a piece there that the hinges will be able to attach to, and also tie it down to the floor there as well. The main thing is I gotta get these 2 pieces cut. Now I cut my 2 pieces for the rear bottom, which will be here, and that's what I'm going to be able to tie in my box around my wheel well to. So I'll have those stand straight up to be parallel with these 2 back pieces, and that way I can tie in to the side there with the big piece, and then the whole top piece will come out. Okay, now I'm just tying in these bottom pieces. So that's kind of getting me started on where the wheel well is going to go. Got a few more things to figure out with that. Now to fit these in, I do have to notch out the corner, because when I take these pieces, I want it to fall in to there so it's notched out, and then fall flush to this piece here. So that will keep it all dialed in. I'll be able to tie it in from the back into this piece, and then we'll do the front frame pieces to keep that stable. Alright, so I just notched these out with a bandsaw and it's slotted in there. So I'll screw in from the back of this piece into here, and then I've got the pocket holes here to tie in. Alright, so now I'm trying to work on this box and get the face the way I want it. So I'm just going to use, this is 3.5 inch. I have a 5.5 inch and another 3.5 inch. That will get me to the top. I'm going to have to glue those two pieces together. That will be my door that will open up. Now my concern was, is it going to be able to open all the way? And it just will be able to open. And if it does hit that, I guess on the way down, that's fine, as long as I can reach down in there and put some things in there. It doesn't have to come down all the way. I think that it will. It's just barely going to clear it, but it should work. So I got to get these kind of put in there, and then those two pieces glued together, and then I can start putting on the top, which I think I'll put a 1/2 inch piece on top, or I could do this 3/4 inch piece that is almost already cut to size. So we'll see how this goes along, and then I'll throw that piece on top. Alright, got those two pieces clamped. We'll wait for that to dry, and then we'll cut out our top piece, which I think I'm going to go with a 1/2 inch. Just to cut down weight. This is a nice piece of maple. I don't really necessarily need that on there, so we'll just do a 1/2 inch piece of ply. Now I just have to rip this 1/2 inch piece of ply down to 9 by 35. It's already 35 inches long, conveniently, so I just gotta cut off a little slice. That'll be the top. This part looks kind of shitty, but the top looks nice, so it'll work good, and it'll fit with the parameters that I have for the opening drawer in the front. So we've got the 1/2 inch piece cut out now. Just keep driving those in. 1.25 back screws. I'll countersink, make sure everything's taut and into place, and it's lined up pretty good, so shouldn't be too bad. I got the notches out for the hinges on both the base piece and on the door. So now I think I'm going to stain these individual pieces, and then I'll probably stain this as well. Maybe not right now. I'll probably wait to get the front on, and then I'll start staining that. But I can at least stain these two pieces in the meantime. Now I'm going to move on. Well, I have the varnish drying, or the stain drying for the door. I'm going to do the face of the cabinet, and that means segmenting out into my different drawers, my different cabinet openings, and framing that in. So I'm going to use just that whiteboard. I got some 3.5 inch pieces. I think I'm just going to cut in half, and then that will provide, enough lip coming over the top. I'm also going to plane those down to a 1/2 inch. They're 3/4 inch right now. I hate to waste the wood, but just the threshold of where this is at and my drawer slides, I need this face to be a 1/2 inch. So we'll do that and get those boards prepped up. Alright, so for doing the face, I've got this 5.5 inch wide whiteboard. It's got some nice grain on it. I'm going to bring it down to a 1/2 inch though, so to do that I'm going to start off by planing it, and then once I get that planed down, I'll joint the one side and make sure that that's flat. Then I can rip it down into two separate pieces that will be about 2 inches each. That will give me about 1.25 inch overhang on each side. Then I have enough pieces lying around where I can make the internals to set up for the drawers and the cabinet space. So first we'll start off getting this thing planed down to about 1/2 inch, make it a bit straighter. It's a little wonky, but it's not too bad. I should be able to take that out. and then we'll get to getting the flat edges and getting the pieces that we need to go lengthwise down the whole thing. Okay, got all the pieces for the face cut. It's all 1/2 inch, so I hope the pocket holes will work on this. They should. With some glue and tandem, everything should tie together. This is kind of what it's going to look like. We'll have the drawer on the left side, drawer in the middle, full cabinet for the power, cabinet. So now we just got to drill the pocket holes in these pieces here, the internals, and then the drawers, guides right there, and then tie all those in, get those glued in, and then we'll be able to place the face on the cabinet. Alright, got the initial frame put together. You're just putting a little glue on the seam and then driving those screws down in. These are 1-inch pocket hole screws. Seems to be holding okay, even though this is just a 1/2 inch. It does help a lot to have a really flat surface. This isn't the flattest surface. It's not very straight wood either, so once you tie it in on here, it'll kind of straighten everything out. But to get everything kind of flush, you really want to be putting pressure down on the seam and then holding it together. If you got clamped, that's great. I don't have anything that long, so I'll be able to probably do it in here. I've got long enough clamps, so that'll at least help me get to where I need to be. So with these two outside ones, I'm going 20 inches from the end on center to this board. So I'll have 2 equal ends down here, then I'll have a bigger space in here, because this will kind of be a main opening cabinet and then where you can put your laptop on top. So I just kind of want to have everything uniform on each side and then have it open, equal space in the middle. Next, we're going to put in our spacers for the drawer and the cabinet. So I've got this top at 8 inches, which will leave me about 7.5 inch drawer depth per se, I guess. It'll be about 7 inches actual drawer depth once you put the bottom in. That leaves me with about 18 inches down below. I did that because I think I can fit the big water jug in that side, which will be a good area for it. It'll be accessible. It'll be kind of in the main area in the kitchen. And then I've got this middle. I'm just going to line that up as well. Have another 7-inch drawer there. And then this area will be the full cabinet for all the power stuff. So I think that'll suffice. There will be some space above this that can be used for clothes and whatnot. This will be kind of like a catch-all for just random things that you might need quickly. So yeah, we got the pocket hole screwed in there. Just got to throw some glue on it, get that one in, and then we'll put this faceplate on. Okay, so now that I've test fit this on here with the clamps, I can apply the wood glue for the face, and then I'll get this clamp back on, and then I'm going to use a brad nailer with 1 5/8 inch. Do I need them that long? Probably not, but I'm just making sure I'm getting a good bite into the plywood, because the only other thing I had was inch, and that I don't think is going to bite enough. So use 1 5/8, get those in there, get this clamp down, and glue it up. Okay, so I'm just going to go around first and put some glue around the bridge here. And spread that with my finger to get good coverage all along. Frame, and then start setting your face lines. That's quick. I have the gaps and everything filled with a wood filler. So I'm just going to go over, sand everything down, get everything smoothed out as best as I can, just to keep the seams looking nice on the outside and the face looking just a little more cleaned up.